Welcome back to our fabulous ELD channel here at the Virtual Academy. We welcome all of you who are joining us, whether you're by yourself at home or in a traditional classroom or online. Remember, every time I put down my pen, means you're going to press pause and do whatever I am asking you to do. And at the end, you're going to go ahead and follow your teacher's directions on what to do here. So today we're going to read a fabulous story. Pay attention. I'm going to read it fairly quickly, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay. So before we start, let me go ahead. I'm going to have you write 1, 2, 3 on a piece of paper. Go ahead and do that. Excellent. So here we go. Here's our story. Hi, Henry, said Big Bird. Ready to go to the park? I'm ready, replied Henry, but my mom can't take us until my brother wakes up from his nap. Oh, okay, said Big Bird. Henry sighed. We have to play inside until he's ready. Oh. Nice to see you, Big Bird, said Henry's mother. Calvin should be awake soon. Just then Big Bird heard a horrible noise. Wow, what's that? He said. Henry rolled his eyes. That's my brother. He's awake. Big Bird, said Henry, meet Calvin. Big Bird smiled at Calvin. Calvin drooled and blew bubbles. Drool, that means when a little bit of spit comes out of your mouth. This is a drool. And he blew bubbles. Bloop, 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 bloop. Can we go to the park now? Henry asked. In a few minutes, said Henry's mother. Uh-oh, look, knocking down the lamp. Look at his face. He doesn't look very happy here, does he? Mom, come see the cool castle we made, Henry called. Just at that moment, Calvin dumped the box of cereal all over the floor. Uh-oh, what's going on here? While his mother was cleaning up the cereal, Calvin crawled over and knocked down the castle. Gee, said Big Bird, you want to play jacks or something? Henry shook his head sadly. Nah, we can't. Calvin might try to put them in his mouth. You're not supposed to play with little toys when there's a baby around. Think of things you liked to play when you were a baby or when you were little. Raise your hand and share them. Excellent. Mom, now can we go to the park? Asked Henry. Pretty soon, honey, replied his mother. Oh, isn't your brother adorable? Let me take a picture of the two of you together. Ouch, said Henry. Why don't you tell him not to do that? Asked Big Bird. He doesn't understand that it hurts, replied Henry. He's just a little monster. Mm. Many of you have little monsters or little brothers and sisters at home. Let Raise your hand and tell us if you have a little brother, a baby at home, and how old they are. Mom, called Henry, holding his nose. Calvin needs to be changed. Henry's mother carried Calvin away to change his diaper. Mom, can we go to the park now? Shouted over the noise Calvin was making. Soon, honey, his mother shouted back. Calvin's hungry. Feed him. Then can we go? Your baby brother sure is loud, yelled Big Bird. Uh-oh. I wish you'd hurry up and eat that, Henry told his brother. Splat! Calvin decided he was finished with his lunch. Wow, said Big Bird. Your baby brother sure is messy. Ugh, this looks terrible. Henry had had enough. He was done. I'm sick of having a baby around. He makes dumb old baby noises and he messes up my toys and he throws food around. I wish, said Henry, his lips starting to tremble, I wish I didn't have a baby brother. Henry's mother gave Henry a big hug. Sweetie, I know it can be hard to have a little brother. It's okay to feel angry with him sometimes. Calvin is lucky to have such a patient big brother. Really? Said Henry, wiping his eyes. Come on, let's go to the park, said his mother. A little while later, as they were playing catch, Big Bird stopped. Hey, Henry, he said softly, I think Calvin just said your name. Henry hurried over to Calvin. "Oh, she-" Henry's mother ran over to listen too. Henry, Henry, Calvin said. All right, all right. That was a great story. So we're going to do something today called multiple choice. I'm going to write that down. Multiple, multiple, meaning many, many choice. That means you have many choices, but you should only pick one unless the you're told to pick more than one. Multiple choice. That means you're going to have many choices, and every time you answer, you're going to write A, B, C, or D on your piece of paper. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to underline. I'm going to underline the questions. There's 3 questions, and it's okay if you get it wrong, but try your best and we'll see how many you get right. Okay. So here we go. Why was Henry frustrated throughout the story? I'm going to repeat that. Why was Henry frustrated, a little angry, a little upset? He's kind of tired of it all. Why was Henry frustrated throughout the story? A, he wanted to go to the park, but Big Bird didn't want to. B, he wanted to go to the park, but his baby brother made it hard. C, he wants to play in the park, but Big Bird wants to leave. D, none of the above. That means none of these are right. None of these are right. I'm going to read the whole thing again. And then on your paper where it says number 1, you're not going to write the whole thing. You're just going to write A, or you're going to write B, or you're going to write C, or you're going to write D. Number 1. Why was Henry frustrated throughout the story? A, he wanted to go to the park, but Big Bird didn't want to. B, he wanted to go to the park, but his baby brother made it hard. C, he wants to play in the park, but Big Bird wants to leave. D, none of the above. Go ahead and write your answer right here. Excellent. Number 2. We're going to check our answers at the end. Number 2. How do you think Henry felt at the end of the story? At the end of the story, okay? So if you remember, let's kind of, and it's okay to go over your reading. Let me see, I threw my book down. It's okay to go back and check. Okay. So this was the end of the story. How was Henry feeling at the end of the story? Okay. Happy and proud is A. B, tired and hungry. C, angry and embarrassed. D, all of the above, meaning they're all true. But you know what? Well, I'll let you think about it. How do you think Henry felt at the end of the story? Happy and proud, tired and hungry, angry and embarrassed, all of the above. Go ahead and write A, B, C, or D here for number 2. Number 3. Number 3. Which 3 things did Calvin do in the story? Which 3 things did Calvin do in the story? A, he drew a picture, was messy at lunch, and knocked down the castle. B, he sang, he danced, and he was loud. C, Calvin hugged Big Bird, did a cartwheel, and was loud. D, was messy at lunch, was loud, and knocked down Henry's castle. We're going to read this again. And in case you forgot, Calvin is the baby brother. Which 3 things did Calvin do in the story? A, he drew a picture, was messy at lunch, and knocked down the castle. B, he sang, he danced, and he was loud. C, Calvin hugged Big Bird, did a cartwheel, and was loud. D, was messy at lunch, was loud, and knocked down Henry's castle. All right, go ahead and mark your answer here on number 3. Perfect, perfect. All right, so let's go through some of these answers, okay? And if you get an answer right, you can go ahead and give yourself a star or a happy face. And if you get an answer wrong, let's say you put C, but the right answer is D, just cross it out and put the right answer. Okay, you could go ahead and do that. So number one, why was Henry frustrated throughout the story? He wanted to go to the park, but Big Bird didn't want to. Well, Big Bird did want to, right? The very first page talked about Big Bird wanting to, so that's wrong. He wanted to go to the park, but his baby brother made it hard. Remember at the beginning, it's the baby was sleeping, so they couldn't go. I think it's this one, but it's good to check all of them first. He wants to play in the park, but Big Bird wants to leave. No, Big Bird wanted to leave. In the last page, we saw the baseball hat and he was excited. D, none of the above. Well, I think the correct answer is B. B, he wanted to go to the park, but his baby brother made it hard. He was throwing things, he was needing to eat, he was taking a nap. So here for number one, your answer should be B. Okay, right? So that should be B. Number two, how do you think Henry felt at the end of the story? Well, first of all, I hope you look all of the above. I don't think you can be happy and angry at the same time. I don't think you could be proud and hungry. Well, I guess you could be proud and hungry at the same time, but I don't think you could be happy and angry at the same time or proud and embarrassed at the same time or so I don't think it's all of the above. At the end of the story, when the baby learned how to say enwy, it seemed like Henry was happy and proud. He was happy and proud of his little brother. Okay. So number two should be A. So if you wrote A, great job. Number three, this was a little hard. So before I talk about it, why don't you raise your hand, raise your Zoom hand or your in-person hand and share what answer you think is right. Okay, good. And even if you get the answer wrong, I'm so proud of you for sharing because I love wrong answers. I love wrong answers. So wrong answers means that you're taking a risk, you're trying your best. So even if you get it wrong, I'm just so proud of you for trying your best. Okay, well, here it's a baby. He drew a picture. Do babies draw pictures? No, he was messy at lunch and he did knock down the castle, but he didn't draw a picture. So nope, it's not A. He sang. Did the baby sing? He danced. Did the baby dance? No. He was loud. He was loud, but he didn't sing or dance. Nope. Calvin hugged Big Bird. Remember when Big Bird met Calvin? Calvin just drooled. Remember when he did bubbles? Does a baby do a cartwheel? No. He was loud. No. So the answer is going to have to be D, but let's check anyway. He was messy at lunch. Yes, we saw his lunch got everywhere. He was loud. Yes, we heard when Big Bird said, "What's that?" When he woke up from his nap and knocked down Henry's castle. Yes, so the answer is D. So here on your paper, you should put D and give yourself stars. If you got them all right, there were a total of 3 questions and you got 3 out of 3 right. That would be 100%. And if you got 1 out of 3 or 0 out of 3 or 2 out of 3, still very proud of you for going and trying your best. We go ahead and upload this if your teacher tells you to. We'll see you next time on our fabulous Virtual Academy ELD YouTube channel. Bye.